All right, so now we're going to talk about evaluating samples. So you've chosen your 3 to 5 top manufacturers, and now it's time. Open up the box, and what are you going to get, and who are you going to choose to go forward with? So you're going to get it probably wrapped in yellow Chinese tape or something. That's the way that they typically come if you're ordering samples from China. Essentially, what you're going to look for, you're going to basically see what are the consumer needs that you have identified when you did your product research, because like we've talked about, it all comes down to product quality and solving unsolved consumer needs. Now, this is your time. Well, you've done all this research, you've gotten somebody that you think, and you have this idea. So you take that idea in your head or the consumer's heads, and then now you're trying to find a product that's going to get there. So what you're going to be looking for is look at this product that they've got, okay? They might have sent you something stock. And you needed customization done. So you're going to have to look at the quality of that if you're customizing, and then go and ask further questions from there. But you overall want to be looking at like, okay, what do they have? What do we need to modify? Or if you're just getting it off the stock and then trying to choose this, which one of these are you going to do? Look at those needs. So I'll just share some examples and like kind of things to look at from my experience and just products laying around here of how I would evaluate them. So let's say for the solar eclipse goggles and glasses like I was doing before, the number one need was safety. People need to be able to look at the sun, all right? So if they can't look at the sun, there's our useless glasses. Now, they also needed the certification for my protection and liability, but also the people wanted that for safety and to know that they could actually look at the sun. There's only one purpose for these glasses, to look at the sun safely. All right. And you know what happened? I went through 50 manufacturers and none of them were safe to look at the sun with. That's why it was so depressing when I was doing the process, because they were all just not making good glasses. Now, this was a very rare circumstance, but how did I know that these weren't safe? Well, because there was a certification, I actually looked into the scientific research and talked to some certification bodies. If you want to learn more about certifications, go watch the certification video. But I just did my own test, okay? I put it up to a light bulb. Can I see the lights with these? Yes. Could I? And then I would go out and look at the sun and then put them on, and didn't seem very safe. All right? And then I had found some good ones. So here's the tip. Buy your competitors' products that you know are good and selling, specifically from big brands and well-established companies, because if it's a well-established company, they don't want to get sued. So they probably have all the certifications and all of the product features figured out, at least the most important ones. And now you're just adding some additional ones. But by looking at your competitors and then looking at this sample and how you're going to customize it, you want to make sure that you're better than your competitor, or at least a similar quality, but you have different aspects that make it superior, okay? That customers need that person's not solving over here. So compare to your competitors' products, get these samples, and then I'll be looking at them for things like, like with the goggles, obviously I needed safety, the ability to look at the sun, but I also needed, they needed to be comfortable and block out light. And all the paper ones were letting in a bunch of lights. And that's how, by doing this process and looking at samples, I was able to come up with the idea that we needed goggles, because literally all the samples, one, they all weren't safe, and two, they all let in extra light. Like, they not only let in light through the lenses, they let in light through the middle. So by reading reviews too, everybody had that same problem. So I made the goggles. Well, maybe you were doing something simple. Don't do the pet glove, but it's the only thing I really have here in Malta. So we're going to show it. Boom, pet glove. All right. Well, what do people want to do? They want to get that deed done at home. They want to get the fur. They want to get the fur off of that animal, all right? So I would take this and the other competitors and then the other samples and see which gets the fur off the animal the best. See right here, there's this blue stuff and the black, play around with it. Really, do and play around and try to break the product, okay? I would actually I literally threw my stuff against the wall. And so with my samples at the very end when I was done testing, I'd throw it against the wall and see which one was the most durable. Put it through the washing machine, if it's clothing. Do all the durability testing that you could, maybe throw it in the oven or the dryer for a long time, and you see which one is going to last the longest. or like, pulling it apart, like who is the strongest stitching and whatnot. That's, these are all the things that you could do, or like, I don't know, like do who's got the strongest Velcro. Do everything that you can just to test every part of the product to see. I mean, these are pretty obvious things. Okay, so I'm not gonna kill this point too much, but look at all the important aspects and just use your judgment, like which one is the best, and show your friends too. So maybe show the competitors and then your samples, and don't tell them which one is the real one. Okay, and then say like, which one of these do you think is the best? That's what I had done with my hippie glasses, and people actually liked mine better. They just didn't stick on people's heads when they were dancing and whatnot. But yeah, so go around, play with the samples, and then take maybe your 2 favorite samples that meet all your needs, and then go ahead and you're going to want to go negotiate with those people, or you could negotiate with all 3 of them if they're all of similar quality. Oh yeah, if you didn't find any that meet your needs, you got to go back. Don't just source something if it doesn't actually meet the needs and have good quality, because if you don't have good quality product, and you're not serving unsolved needs, and you don't have resources, like, you won't win. So at the end of the day, you got to have a really good product. So don't skimp on this. Like, you've gotten this far, so you got to make sure that you do this part right, because it makes everything else easier. This could be a product that will last for years if you do this part right. But if you just skimp out and just say, that's good enough, you just cut your, like, what? Like, just put it in the time.